before I even get into the stats, to all the naysayers, the haters, all the people who doubted Jalen Hurts, he's a Super Bowl champion and an MVP. You can't say that he was carried because Saquon really didn't have a great game. Did what he had to do, but he didn't have a great game. This game was on Jalen Hurts' arm, offensively anyway. I'll get into the defense. Offensively, the Eagles scored 40 points, mainly because of Jalen Hurts. Jalen Hurts beat Patrick Mahomes tonight. He beat Patrick Mahomes 2 years ago, but they lost the game. This time, it was not a competition. It wasn't even close. Jalen Hurts will always be a winner, and now he's a champion. You can't take that away from the man.
Absolutely
not. Unless your quarterback is Patrick Mahomes, your quarterback is not as good as Jalen Hurts.
Ooh, so you're making the proclamation that Jalen Hurts is the second best quarterback in the NFL.
Top five.
Top five.
Top five. I don't want to hear nothing from Joe Burrow, Bengals fans. I don't want to hear nothing from Josh Allen. I don't care if you won that MVP. Everybody says Lamar Jackson should have won MVP anyway. I don't want to hear nothing from you. I don't want to hear nothing from Cowboys fans, not named Earl, who says Dak Prescott is still better than Jalen Hurts.
Okay,
I'm going through the list. I'm going through the list.
I want everyone to know that I will not be on the list because I do not have a quarterback. Thank you very much.
All right, fair enough.
Jameson Winston might be that quarterback.
No. As of right now, no quarterback. I am free.
Fair enough. Lamar Jackson can have 3, 4, 5, 6. How many wop Super Bowl MVP? I don't care what it is. He hasn't won a Super Bowl and he hasn't even gotten there yet. So, unless your name is Patrick Mahomes and you're a fan of Patrick Mahomes and the Kansas City Chiefs, I don't want to hear nothing anymore. Jalen Hurts has done what everybody doubted and said he couldn't do. Anybody got anything to say?
I mean, look.
Wait, okay.
I will maintain this. I think there's a solid 1 through 4 hierarchy. I don't think Jalen Hurts has busted that yet. But what I will say is that he's tied for 5th. He's tied for 5th with Jaden Daniels.
Who are the 4 quarterbacks? Really quick, Lucas. I don't want to stay on this, but who's the 4 quarterbacks?
Well, Pat Mahomes is one.
Okay.
Number 2, I'll give it to Lamar. Number 3, Josh Allen. Number 4, Joe Burrow. And number 5, tied, Jalen Hurts, Jaden Daniels.
All right. We'll discuss this on the offseason.
Yeah, this is an offseason conversation.
All right. Let's keep it to Super Bowl, man.
But Earl's back because Earl had to leave for a second. He's getting Dak. Maurice. Okay. I don't think we're done yet.
Okay. Wait, can I go before they get into this generational back and forth because it's going to be one for the books? Mm-hmm. So, okay, I totally hear you, Maurice. I totally hear you. But take it from someone whose quarterback was essentially mid for years, still was disrespected for their entire career after beating the GOAT twice, a 2-time Super Bowl MVP, and was not put in the same conversation as the top quarterbacks of the time. Lamar Jackson, Josh Allen, Joe Burrow, those top quarterbacks do a lot with very little, and it's just facts. Mm-hmm. It's a team sport. Wins are not a quarterback stat. They can't be. It's just not how it can be. Yes, Jalen had a fantastic game, and I am giving him his flowers. I am totally giving them to him.
Sure.
But to put him above other quarterbacks who will eventually get there. They will. I know they will. I think that I think Josh Allen will definitely get there. I definitely think Lamar will one day get there. And I definitely think maybe even if Joe gets a better supporting cast, he needs a defense. We'll get there. Mm-hmm. But I am with you, and you're going to be arguing until your voice is gone because I've been doing it for Eli for years, and he's still getting the disrespect. So that's just coming from someone who's going through it right now and has been for years. So that's my piece. You and Earl can get into it over Dak and Jalen.
Earl, what you got to say?
Well, what I was originally going to say is, hats off to Jalen Hurts on achieving the championship. It's a team sport. Only thing that I'm saying is with what he's capable of doing, he has more around him.
Yeah, he has the most around him than anybody.
The situation is, he has a running back. He has a line that weighs in as the heaviest in the league, over 338 pounds. Then on top of that, you have a front four on defense that can apply pressure with no blitzing. That is incredible, especially when you allow the coaches to coach. Shoot, yeah. Of course he's going to be what he is. He's always been a winner. He's always had a team around him. The difference between him and Dak is Dak really doesn't have all the pieces together like a Jalen Hurts.
And you guys have better ownership. Also, you guys have 2 number 1 receivers. That too.
Oh, and another thing, you pay your players at the right time. But I'll get into that when you're finished, Maurice.
Look.
So,
and just to finish,
is, let me just say this. Mm-hmm. So, you're highlighting the organization as a whole, correct?
Yeah.
That's to win Super Bowls, correct?
Yeah.
You won a Super Bowl. You just won another Super Bowl, a second Super Bowl in 8 years. Now, listen, when it comes to Jalen Hurts has always come up in the big moments. That is something Dak Prescott has never done. Now, we could talk about statistics, and I'm going to bring up statistics. But when the games matter the most, Jalen Hurts gets the job done. Been to 2 Super Bowls in 3 seasons. Those other quarterbacks we named in that top 5, they haven't done it.
To be fair to those other ones.
Can I ask a question, though?
Sure.
After Eli Manning won the first Super Bowl against the undefeated Patriots, did you rank him top 5?
After the first or second one?
After the first one.
Top 5 in the league? He was close to it, yeah. Of that era, Ben Roethlisberger, Phillip Rivers, Tom Brady, Eli. And
but Phillip Rivers never did anything, so
yeah, that's true.
You see what I mean?
That's true. That's a good point. But he was still top 5 of that era. Listen, that was the era of Tom Brady.
And hence why we're in the era of Patrick Mahomes, and we also have quarterbacks like Joe Burrow and Josh Allen and Lamar Jackson. So, yes, Jalen Hurts is close to it, but it doesn't necessarily mean he's in it.
Yeah.
It's the same situation.
Now, at the end of the day, we're talking about Eli Manning, who I believe should have been in the Hall of Fame. We'll talk about that later.
But I was just asking in terms of how I felt all those years, how you would feel if I asked you the same question.
Now, listen, Jalen Hurts has still a long way to go. We're not really talking about Hall of Fame here, but Jalen Hurts has a long way to go to put his name in that echelon. Maybe another Super Bowl or 2. But I'm talking about right now, currently, those other guys, they can't get over the hump. They can't win in the big games in the playoffs, and
because they have to go through Patrick Mahomes.
They
have to go through Patrick Mahomes.
That's all it takes. Beat them. Josh Allen came close. Lamar Jackson came close, but they didn't do it.
I mean, Joe Burrow actually did beat him.
Oh, yes, he did. Technically, he did, but he didn't win a Super Bowl. All right. That was
no, look, and I would probably have Jalen, like I said, tied for 5th. I think Jaden Daniels is more skilled because he can do more with less. So I'm going to have him above him. I think 6 or 7 is a fair spot for Jalen Hurts. I think it's fair.
Lucas. Lucas is on Homer take right now.
Yeah. We will have the off season to talk about that.
We'll talk about that.
We'll be ranking this.
Let's get back into this game.
Get back to the game.
What I said. I'm standing on my Jalen Hurts business right now.
Take it away.
Jalen Hurts went 17 for 22 for 221 yards. He had 2 touchdowns and 1 interception. That 1 interception did sting, but luckily they didn't score off of that. Now, listen, Saquon Barkley only had 57 yards today. He had 25 carries for 57 yards. The Chiefs' defense did what they had to do to stop Saquon, and it was on Jalen. It was on Jalen and his arm and his legs to win this football game. The Chiefs' defense is no slouch. They're a really good defense, and Jalen Hurts put up 40 points. Nothing to sneeze at.
No.
Devontae Smith, and he's from New Orleans. He had a touchdown, 69 yards. A.J. Brown had a touchdown.
Dotson nearly had a touchdown.
One. Shout out Dotson.
Yeah, that was a good trade for you guys. I mean, I'll you guys can have him. I'll take the pick.
Yeah, this offensively, this was a beatdown. This was a slugging. This was a BTA situation offensively for the Eagles. They had their way with their defense. Look, listen, Spags focused on Saquon. I mean, that was the right decision. It was the right decision to focus on Saquon. And you let Jalen Hurts beat you with his arm. The same philosophy the Commanders had. Joe Witt had 2 weeks ago. Let Jalen Hurts beat you with his arm. And he did. I have nothing, there's nothing bad I will say about Jalen Hurts going forward in this offseason. He had a tremendous game. He proved the doubters wrong. Now, let me get into this defense. Because this was a generational game for the defense of Vic Fangio. Victor Fangio. He might get a statue somewhere. I don't know. But this defense shut out the Chiefs offense, and boy, it was one-sided. I don't think the Chiefs got into the Eagles' offensive. I don't think the Chiefs got on the Eagles' offensive side of the ball on the offensive side of the field until the second half. Am I right, Earl? Was it third or fourth quarter?
I would say late in third, maybe fourth, at the beginning of the fourth.
They couldn't cross
they didn't cross the 50 in the first half.
Yeah, this was an amazing effort by this defense. That front four got pressure without no blitz. I didn't think the Chiefs' offensive line was that bad. But they wreaked havoc on that offensive line. Josh Sweat made himself a lot of money tonight. Kudos to him.
How do you feel about Jalen's Hunt?
I remember a long time ago, this Eagles fan on this podcast said Jalen Hunt was going to be a project player this season.
I remember. I was going to bring that up if you didn't. I was going to bring that up. I was like, you were hating on this man when you guys drafted him.
He was a project player for sure. Two things happened. Injuries, and Bryce Huff was a complete bust of a free agent pickup. That was the reason why Jalen Hunt got the opportunities he did. Shout out BG Brandon Graham for coming back for the Super Bowl, and he's going out with a championship. If this is his last game, salute to him. There's no better way to retire as a Philadelphia Eagle than with your second Super Bowl.
Is Brandon Graham with winning 2 Super Bowls? Would you put him as one of the best, if not the best, defender in Eagles history?
Well, still Reggie White. Still Reggie White.
But championships matter. That's what you said about Jalen Hurts, right?
Yeah, but Reggie White is like one of the greatest of all time. Brandon Graham was not one. Yeah, Brandon Graham might be the winningest Eagle ever. I'll give him that. Simply because he's not many guys from the other Super Bowl except for Lane, Jake Elliott, and that's it. Fletcher Cox and Kelsey's gone. Oh, so he's up there. He's an Eagle legend for life. Eagle legend. Yeah, he's good. He's good. But anyway, this defense has 6 sacks. 6 sacks on Patrick Mahomes, who was a slippery quarterback to get down.
I'll say this. Before halftime, I had Cooper DeJean as your MVP.
On his birthday. 22nd birthday, Cooper DeJean with a pick six.
The first player in NFL history to get a INT on their birthday in the Super Bowl. Only one other player has done it in a championship game, and that was back in 1947.
Steve Van Buren.
I wonder if he's related to the president. I wonder if he was related to the president, Martin Van Buren. But anyway.
I don't know. But anyway, yeah. And Zach Bond, who was our defensive MVP this season, also had an interception as well. This defense was all over the place. They were swarming Pat Mahomes all night. I never thought I don't think anybody could have predicted our defense shutting them out like that. I didn't foresee it. I did not foresee this coming. This defense is, first of all, they were the number 1 defense in the NFL this season. So it shouldn't be shocking, but it was. It was shocking. The Birds had a beatdown. This was a beatdown all around. And listen, I said it earlier. The NFC Championship game could have been a Super Bowl. That's how more competitive that was compared to this Super Bowl.
Well, technically, your most competitive game was against the Rams, but I'm going to chalk that up to snow.
I believe this is not me giving any Commanders praise, but if the Commanders were in the Super Bowl, they would have beat the Chiefs tonight. I truly believe that.
I think so too.
Of course you do. But then,
hey, I'm allowed to believe in my team.
That's how bad the Chiefs played tonight. And it has to do with the offense. Shout out Kellen Moore, who's probably going to be the Saints coordinator tomorrow.
He ain't going to be your coach tomorrow.
The Saints coach. Yeah, the Saints coach tomorrow.
Yeah, he ain't going to be your coach tomorrow.
Unless Howie throws a couple $1 million at him and make him change his mind.
I don't think that's going to work, man.
He's going to be the Saints. He can stay right there in New Orleans. Be the Saints coach. But shout out to Kellen Moore. Shout out to Jalen Hurts. Offensively, this was an amazing game. Shout out Vic Fangio. Shout out Cooper DeJean, Milton Williams, Jalen Carter, Josh Sweat. Shout out the entire defense, because this was a generational shout out by the defense until the end where they got some easy points.
Look, at that point, you guys had already won.
The game was over. Jake Elliott. I want to shout out Jake Elliott.
He looked like he did last year, not this year.
I was concerned with Jake coming into this game, but no, he was not rattled. He kicked his extra points. He kicked his field goals. He was not a problem. So overall, wow, what a game. Philadelphia Eagles are Super Bowl champions.
Is Nick Sirianni the best coach in Eagles history now?
Wow, what a question.
I know, that's why I asked. You got to ask the hard-hitting questions.
Nick Sirianni went from maybe being on the hot seat if they didn't go far in the playoffs to now getting he will probably get an extension.
He got a Gatorade bath.
Yeah, he probably will. Yeah,
he did,
and he's up there with Doug Peterson now. Two coaches who won the Super Bowl for the Philadelphia Eagles.
The difference is he's already been to two in his first 4 or 5 seasons.
Yeah, 5 seasons. So
I think
his seat will be safe for a long time to come.
It better be.
Yeah, his seat is safe now. I got to give a shout out to Howie Roseman.
Mm-hmm.
He put this team together. He had an amazing draft. Amazing free agency. Outside of Huff, which was Huff wasn't even active for the game.
You essentially traded him for what's the guy?
Hassan Reddick.
Yeah,
but he drafted J.L.X. Hunt. Nolan Smith came around to being the edge disruptor that we all wanted him to be. Josh Sweat came along as the season went on, and Brandon Graham had flashes before his injury. Howie Roseman made up for that blunder with drafting 2 corners who are going to be pillars for this defense for the next 10 years. Statistically, analytically, Quinyon Mitchell is a lockdown corner in his rookie season. I didn't foresee that coming. I thought it was going to be good, but he's been, from all the metrics, he's been a shutdown cornerback.
By the way, you're welcome for Cooper DeJean. You don't get him without that pick. Trade. Yeah.
The Commanders gave us that pick for Cooper DeJean.
Well, I mean, we got some picks too, but, not the
mm-hmm. Although he didn't have a great game, Saquon Barkley was our MVP throughout the season. Saquon was an amazing... Well, first of all, thank you, Giants, first of all. Second of all, I think I've read the stat during the game. Saquon rushed for the most yards, regular season and playoffs included. He's rushed for the most yards in NFL history.
Yeah, I forgot to post about that. Well, everybody knows it by now.
Anyway. So You could easily say he had the greatest rushing season of all time.
Yeah,
from a yardage situation. Now he didn't break the record, which I mean, looking back at it, he didn't want to play the game.
Don't mean nothing now because he got the ring.
Yes, he sacrificed playing in that last game to break the rushing record from Eric Dickerson to compete for a Super Bowl, and he won the Super Bowl. So, a sacrifice well worth it for Saquon. I shouted out Howie real quick. Jeffrey Lurie, one of the greatest owners Philadelphia sports has ever had. You can't ask for more from Jeffrey Lurie. He supports the team. He does what he has to do as an owner. He doesn't meddle. He doesn't get in the way. He's just there when we need him to be there, and he knows how to run a sports franchise. So, Jeffrey Lurie, I salute you. Great owner, the greatest owner in Philadelphia sports history. I'll make that claim right now. The best owner. I'm just happy that the organization. I'm a fan. I'm a fan of a team with a great organization, players. We're not going to talk about next season now, but hey, when I'm going to next season, we're going to try to repeat. I'm saying, I'm going to be a homer tonight. We're going to repeat next season. There you go.